Good afternoon. Welcome to Teleislas News, the most important news at this time of the day. Upon sanctioning this Tuesday at the Casa de Nariño the law adopting the tax reform for equality and social justice, President Gustavo Petro affirmed that the instrument will allow the government of change to advance in financing the achievement of peace, agrarian reform, the fight against social inequality, and the fulfillment of the country's fiscal commitments. In response to this presidential sanction, a lawyer from our island gave arguments on the impact of this reform on the economy of the country and of the islands.
Taking into account the signing of a tax reform by President Petro, Attorney Jason Taylor gave some considerations regarding last Tuesday's sanction at the Casa de Nariño.
Y así lo necesitaba desde el gobierno anterior, lo necesita ahora. Ahora bien, ¿por qué lo necesita? ¿Por qué?
Colombia did need it since the previous government, and it needs it now because it has had fiscal deficits for years. These should be financed through the reform because it is the way the state raises funds. Collecting revenues is not efficient, progressiveness is taking place, and the equitability aspect is very little, which leads us to say that the state is being financed 50% by the VAT and the companies, but it is not financed by the taxpayers, since out of the 50 million inhabitants, only 4 million declare and 1% is the one who pays. 50% of exports as a developing country come from hydrocarbons. These are the commodities that support the dollar, and with the international crisis, this increases the dollar issue because we are going through a tough situation. The fact that we cannot increase the growth of the dollar, but that it is higher than there is talk of a dismissal, a waste of money of those who want to invest in this, brings an important situation. We approve where the resources are going to come from, but in the petroleum government, the majority will not be spent to pay the deficit, but on a national expenses, and this is spent in the budget. There is a very important political issue that we have to debate as a society, but as a tax, as a collection of revenue, if it is going to happen, and from next year we will start to see it.
The lawyer also agreed that the issue of hydrocarbons are exposed by reducing the income of the dollar currency will be low, being 50% of the commodities reported by the countries, and the dollar has raised. The family basket of the island will continue to raise, taking into account that the departmental rates are dollarized.
The prosecutor's office already advances investigations to find those responsible for the theft of the monument plaques for the shipwreck of the Miss Isabel boat. The Secretary of Culture made a call for respect for the relatives who lost their loved ones.
With concern, the Secretary of Culture has spoken about the theft of the monument plaques for the Miss Isabel shipwreck vessel. In a statement to the public, it was emphasized that the administration, all for a new beginning, regrets and strongly rejects this shameful event, especially in the case of a monument that complies with the Ordinance 018 of 2012, declaring a day of mourning for the victims of the shipwreck of the Miss Isabel, an incident that occurred in 2012.
El día lunes, personal de la Secretaría.
On Tuesday at noon, we went to monitor the situation. Unfortunately, we found that the bronze plaques that had been removed from the monument. We are uncertain as to who could have carried out such an act, since it is a commemoration of an event that caused families on the island to mourn.
The Secretary also announced that the respective complaints and processes have already been carried out.
El día de ayer, en horas de la tarde.
Yesterday in the afternoon, I went to the prosecutor's office to file a complaint about what happened. Today in the morning, agents of the Sihin came to the scene to gather evidence and follow up.
Likewise, a call is made to the responsible people to be aware of the importance of this monument for the island, especially for the families who lost their loved ones.
And the Strong Family Strategy arrives to the archipelago of San Andres on behalf of the Ministry of Health, which seeks to help improve relationships in island families.
The program Strong Families of the Pan American Health Organization seeks to strengthen the relationship between parents and children and improve the form of communication and conflict resolution between families. 120 people will be beneficiaries of the implementation of this strategy in the department, which will be carried out hand in hand with the Ministry of Health and the Departmental Health Secretariat.
Son 170 familias inicialmente, es un convenio.
There are 170 beneficiary households. Initially, it is an agreement we have between the departmental government through the Health Secretariat and the Office of Drugs Against Crime of the United Nations. We want to invite families who want to register to come to the Health Secretariat. There are 7 weekly sessions. They are not workshops, they are not dialogues, they are behavioral workshops. The benefit will be 170 strong families that raise adolescents with love and limit, which translates into what the community of San Andres is needing.
The departmental government has a goal of impacting 400 families. Enrollment will be extended for the 2023 term.
The National Planning Department invites the community to participate in the public hearing of the multi-year investment plan from 2022 to 2026 to be held on December 16, starting at 9 a.m.
In recent days, it was announced by the National Planning Department, DNP for its acronym in Spanish, the invitation to the public hearing of the Multi-Year Investment Plan 2022 through 2026 in the Department of San Andres, Old Providence, and Catlina. This hearing will be held in the framework of Law 1909 of 2018 to present the investments of the National Development Plan 2022 through 2026 for each region, as well as to collect from citizens ideas for prioritization of investments in their department. The public hearing of the PPI for the Department of San Andres, Old Providence, and Catlina will be held in San Andres next Friday, December 16 of 2022, starting at 9 a.m. and until 12:30 midday at the Arena Blanca Hotel. To participate in this hearing, you can do it in person, for which there is a limited capacity, or virtually through the DNP's YouTube channel.
Tomorrow, December 15 until December 16, the departmental government will carry out a sterilization day for canines and felines, which will be totally free, and those interested must request an appointment beforehand.
Today, the whole community is reminded that the departmental government, through the Secretariat of Public Services and the Jose Antonio Nariño Foundation, are inviting the entire population of the island to participate this December 15 and 16 in the Animal Sterilization Day, which is free of charge.
Today, we want to participate in the sterilization day that will take place on Thursday, December 15th and Friday, December 16th at the Departmental Animal Shelter. We hope to have the attendance of all the members of the community who have not sterilized their puppies.
It should be noted that the departmental government is investing in these days to increase the number of sterilized felines and canines in the island to avoid that this population grows more and has no one to take care of them. The head of portfolio, Asville Bryan, reminds the community that sterilizing your pet is also an act of love.
The Minister of Health announced the regulation of nutritional and front labeling. The new resolution modifies several articles of Resolution 810 of 2021 that establishes the technical regulation of nutritional and front labeling for bottled and packaged foods for human consumption.
The Minister of Health and Social Protection, Carolina Corcho Mejia, signed Resolution 2492 regulating Law 2120, which, in response to the ruling of the Council of State, orders the regulation of the front labeling of some products for human consumption. The measure adopted also considers the technical regulation on front and nutritional labeling requirements that must be met by packaged foods for human consumption and define the shape, color, size, maximum values, location, wording, proportions, and dimensions that the front warning labeling must contain.
We have just issued Resolution 2492 regulating Law 2120 and also in response to the ruling of the Council of State in which we are legislating the front labeling, and we are already recognizing in this resolution as a regulation the octagonal seal with a black background, where we talk about the excess of trans fats and also the excess of sweeteners, so that this has a positive impact on nutrition of citizens, boys and girls, who will be able to see these seals on the products so that they can take care of their nutrition in a healthy way.
The provisions established in the resolution apply to all foods for human consumption, national and imported, that are marketed in the national territory, except for some foods with nutritional labeling, such as infant formulas for children between 0 and 12 months, foods for special medical purposes, APMES for its acronym in Spanish, herbal and fruit infusions, decaffeinated and instant tea, among other foods. The decree is part of the institutional policy of the Ministry of Health in the sense of abiding by and complying with commitments, rulings, and laws of the courts of the Republic in order to guarantee the fundamental right to health, food, and healthy, responsible, and well-informed consumption.
And now let's get to know other facts that are news today in our brief news section.
As part of the activities of the agro-educational fair, a theoretical and practical activity was held where girls and boys of the agricultural project from preschool and Seeds of Faith Ministry, God is My Refuge Church, learned with the professional and technical team of the Secretariat of Agriculture and Fisheries the processes of creating vegetable gardens and planting of agricultural products. The children participated in activities such as the soil preparation, soil mixing, transplanting, and irrigation of seedlings. With these activities, we seek the preservation of agricultural practices on the island. Local government unveiled the rendering designs of how the ship monument will look, which is currently undergoing an intervention after showing deterioration. It is expected that the new attraction will be inaugurated during this month of December. 16 senior citizens were honored in the department for reaching the age of the 100 and over, praising their life and career in addition to the achievements they have made. The ceremony was held in the facilities of the Assembly and was attended by local government officials and military forces.
And this is all for now. We see you tonight at 8 p.m. with more of Teleislas News. Good afternoon.